Hey folks, hope you're doing good today. We got 4 bands for you today. We're going to get straight into it. This first band that we got up today are a band called Alcindor. I'm not sure quite how to say that right because it's got a C in it. But you might recognize the guys out, 2 of the guys out of this band because they were in the band called Cut the Architect's Hand that we did a video of. Very nice band, good live performance. Go and check that out if you haven't checked it out already. But they got a different drummer in this band, I think is what it is. And maybe a different style. I haven't checked it out, so I'm not sure. But we'll get it straight up on the screen. Looks like a live performance as well. So let's see what these guys have got. Nice tremming. Nice guitar. I really want to try one of those Strandbergs at some point. I love them. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. These guys are heavier than Architect's Hand in terms of depth and speed. Yeah, listen to that kick drum as well, kicking through, clicky drum. Not sure if he's using a trigger on that. Sounds like it, but it sounds good. It's tight. So these guys are just deathing out in this band then. They've obviously got a lot of death energy in that they need to release as well. Bassist looks sick with his power stance. He's got the finger style as well, which looks dope. Nice bass. So he's got some nice instruments in this band. They've spent some money on those, I can tell you. Bogner cab and orange amps as well. So yeah, these guys have put some investment into their instruments. They sound sick. I'm liking this. It's a bit deathcore-y because they're breaking it down as well. Yeah. We give these guys a nice. This is kicking ass. You can see there he's using a bunch of pedals, so these guys are thinking about their music. You don't buy instruments that expensive unless you can play them. Well, some people do. Generally not, because those are like 3 to 5 grand a guitar, those Strandbergs. They look dope. They got a crazy shaped neck on them, if you don't know about that. It's like really weird design on the neck. Dope. Back to the death. Nice trem riffage, you can hear that. Yeah, tight drumming. Gotta be a good drummer to do death. There's no bad death drummers. Unfortunately, it's not the most beefiest recording. As I remember, the Architect's Hand recording was way beefier than this. It's loud, but that's just the way it goes with these recordings. But we'd like to maybe hear an even beefier recording of these bands because this is high energy death metal. You know, we love that on this channel. Now I'm going to say just on this recording, which as we've just said isn't the best necessarily, but if this is a kind of representation of what the crowd might hear on stage, I'm going to say that trigger, the click on the bass drum is a little bit too loud. And we've spoken about this before with clicky bass drums. They cut through the mix very, very well, and you don't need tons and tons of volume on a clicky bass drum compared to a more thuddy bass drum. So, you know, that's just something you've got to think about when you're using these types of drum sounds. Nice. Yeah, these guys have got the breakdowns in them as well. That was heavy. Great vocal as well. I haven't mentioned the vocal, but it's death as the music. And it was a bassist doing the vocal in the other band, so they both got good tones in them. Yeah, this guy's deep, guttural, got that death metal. just to finish up what I was saying about the drums, just bear in mind, guys, and this is for any band that uses clicky bass drums, just be careful how much volume you put on it, because it cuts through everything. You don't need to crank it super loud to get it to cut through. It does that all on its own. So just temper that volume to suit the music. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, these guys are kicking ass. This is heavy music. The 3 guys as well. You know, a lot of bands like this have 2 guitarists because you want that big beefy sound, but he's getting all the sound he needs out of that kit. And you'd be disappointed if you didn't, because there's a few grand in there, I can tell you, on that stage. They've spent some cash. Very nice. I think it's not the first, but it's one of the first kind of mostly death, but with a bit of core in there, a bit of breakdown in there. But yeah, mostly death, tremming, pure gutturals, just death, you know, as it should be. We don't have enough of those on the channel, that's for sure. Good stuff. Well, these guys are in a couple of nice bands then. If you like this band, they're a different vibe, but it's the same guys. Go check out Cut the Architect's Hand as well. Very cool band. And all of these guys have been super appreciative. There's first guys that reached out to me as well to sort out some merch and things like that. So yeah, these guys are cool. They're in some cool bands. They make some cool music. So good stuff. We'll have a quick look at their Facebook, see what it says on here, just to see if there's any more stuff on here. No, they've been going since it says a 3-piece experimental band formed in the ashes of 2017, so not been going too long. And I would say, you know, this wasn't kind of the freshest deathcore that you've ever heard, but it was good deathcore. And I don't want to go, it's not really too corey. I only say it's deathcore because it had breakdowns, and pure death doesn't really have breakdowns like that. But it was death metal. Good stuff. Let's move on to the next band. Now this band is on Hardcore Worldwide channel, which I'll give a shout out to, because I'm a hardcore guy, as you know, and Hardcore Worldwide somehow skipped me by. And I've had a look on their channel now, and these guys have got some good bands, some good punk bands, some good hardcore bands, always high energy, live performances and stuff like that. So yeah, I've subscribed to them now. So shout out to Hardcore Worldwide, good channel. My kind of music. Sorry I passed you by for so long. But yeah, this band is called Scarfold by the looks of things. It's got a track called By Any Means, and it's featuring JP from Get the Shot. So he's made an appearance, showing his face. Let's see what they got. Yeah. Oh yeah. Nice. It's as hardcore as it's ever going to get. Yeah. Give these guys an instant nice. This is my kind of jam. I felt that change. Good stuff. Good fuzzy guitars. Nice shouty vocal. Passionate vocal. Yeah, they all look the part. Singer looks like he'll fucking rip your head off. Nice drum sound, just enough reverb. Here's the guest guy. He looks the part as well, you wouldn't want to fuck with him. Yeah. Slamming. Yeah, these guys are hitting hard. Yeah, that dude's intimidating, man. I bet he's a really nice guy. He just looks like he'd kill you. And that dude, he's ripped. Yeah, these dudes, I'll give you another one of those because these dudes are killing it. This is my kind of jam. Power, hardcore, aggression, energy. Yeah, hardcore is all about releasing your anger, getting your angst out, shouting it out, pushing it out with the energy. These guys have got it. Yeah. Yeah, these guys are killing it. Nice cymbal sounds. Very washy and sustainy. That's what I like. That was kicking ass. Hope that's not the end. No, we've still got a bit to go actually. Yes. Breaking it down. Badass beat down. Yeah. Dope. Scarfold. I'm an instant fan. I haven't heard this band before, and that's my jam, as you can see. I was into that. I love this energy. I love this tempo. I just love this slamming, getting into it, the kind of jump up energy, dun, 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 and then stand and slamming it down. Just feels good when you're at the live shows of these kind of bands. The energy in the room, everyone flinging their arms about. You got the Crush at the front, and then the guys at the back who are just hard nodding. Yeah. This takes me back. This is the kind of music I love. This is the stuff I was rocking out late 90s, early 2000s a lot. This band sounds like that kind of music. I'm not going to say that they're the freshest band on the block, but they sound just right. You know, when you're into hardcore and a band sounds like this, you just instantly connect with them because this is what you're looking for. You know, this is what you're searching for. And that's why I say I'm pleased to have found this Hardcore Worldwide channel, because there's a few bands on here, well, a lot of bands, all of the bands on there are kind of this kind of vibe, hardcore vibe, but varying levels of, you know, punk and hardcore and metal and things like that. So you get the whole spectrum of hardcore, which is, you know, a big spectrum. Hardcore is the energy and the vibe, you know, it's the kind of, the attitude is hardcore. Can be lots of different styles of music, however. So yeah, good stuff. I enjoyed that one a lot. I'm going to give that one a superb. Give it a superb, and a bunch of other stuff because I fucked up all the buttons. But yeah, that's how pleased I am about this band, because I don't hear enough bands. I'll get that off the screen. So I don't hear enough bands that sound like this anymore. Used to rock out to a ton of bands like this kind of 15, 20 years ago now. But I don't hear as many as I used to. It was a lot bigger then than it is now, it seems to be. But now I'm finding these kind of channels, these kind of bands. Hopefully these fellas know a bunch of other hardcore bands. Get them to send in shit. If they sound like this, I want to hear them. These guys are from Montreal. They've got a record label. 10 to 54 records. You do find as well with hardcore that there's a lot of kind of independent labels out there picking up hardcore bands, or at least there was. Let's say my experience with hardcore isn't up to date, if I'm honest. It's a good 10 years out of date. But it used to be the case where hardcore bands were picked up. There were quite a few kind of smaller hardcore labels, and they were pumping out the music. You know, there was always new CDs and shit coming out for hardcore bands. And that's why it was such a good time, because there was just so much hardcore available at that time. that you could pick and choose the real good bands and still have a load of stuff that, you know, was on the back burner. These guys like Hatebreed and Bad Brains, two bands that you could definitely hear in here. These guys have got that aggressive attitude, that kind of don't fuck with me attitude. But as I say, I bet at home they're all really nice guys and make cups of tea for their mom and things like that. But when they're on stage, when they're in the band, that's their chance to release their aggression, release their friggin' pent up anger and hatred for the world, and put it through the music, put that energy through the music. And that's what I love about it, because it's got that emotional edge to music. And I don't mean emo is in there crying down the mic. I mean, it's got passion, and it's got, you know, real emotion and how you feel inside behind it. It's a release of it's a release of energy and anger is what I was trying to say there. And that's what I really like. That's what connects with me. I'm not an angry guy in real life, but I used to be in hardcore bands and do vocals, and I've done guitar and stuff like that. And whenever I was on stage, you'd think I was a different beast, because that's the place where you can release all of that stuff that you might not necessarily be like in real life. These guys might be a bunch of hard bastards in real life as well. And if you just look at them the wrong way, they'll give you a slap round the ear. I hope they're not like that. But sometimes they are, you know, these hardcore guys, they can be hardcore to the bone. So yeah. There you go. Nice band. We want to hear more out of this band, guys. So if you're watching the vid, which I hope you are, send me more music. Get in touch with your hardcore mates and get them to send me more music as well, because I want to hear it. Now we've got another, looks like, I'm not sure if this is a band or not now on this channel, and I'm not exactly sure the name of it, because it's on a channel that's called Charts Up, which is just a bit like mine in a way that it showcases independent bands. So shout out to them for that. Looks like they're just getting going like me. And this, it just says stick to my guns, and that's it. So I'm not sure anything about it. I've not got any more information, so all we're going to do with this one is just enjoy it and see what it's all about. So yeah, sit back and see what this one's all about. Oh, here we go, by Dee Cee. I apologise, I haven't looked that up. We're just going to listen to it. Well, this sounds quite different. First band we've had like this on the channel, that's for sure. I'm not sure if this is meant to be super serious or not, because it kind of sounds like one of the songs you'd hear on South Park or something like that. You can tell he's purposely putting in that tone and inflection into his voice. And it has got that kind of slight comedy element to it. But I apologise if I'm offending the artist by saying that. Quite a lot going on in the music in terms of all the synth parts, different piano runs. You've got the stabs on the piano as well. But yeah, I've got to be honest, it's a very basic mix. It's not been tweaked with and all of that. It's kind of been, you know, put together in a pretty raw way, let's say. I like his voice, even though you say it has got that kind of South Parky comedy element to it. Yeah. Well, as I say, I hope I'm not offending the... I don't know anything about this, so I've kind of got to treat it a bit with kid gloves. But I'm going to take that as that it was a tongue-in-cheek track. Now, I apologise if that was offensive to the artist, and he's actually a super serious artist, and I can't believe you're not taking my art super serious, you know, because I put my heart and soul into that one, kind of thing. I'm going to say this one was a bit of fun, and that kind of South Park song, putting on a voice type of vibe. It was good, but yeah, a bit out of my wheelhouse is what I'm going to say on that one.